Dear Tacticians, welcome to Lord of the Onion Rings. This is the Middle-earth World News. Today, let's see how Gondor broke the siege and achieved great victory. So, where was Gondor? Reveling in their victory from the previous age, the Knights of Gondor rightfully claimed their title of Dominator and entered Season 2 with the fires of war ignited in their hearts. Returning to their homeland of old, the Knights chose Minas Tirith to be their capital again. Faced with the uncertainty of a new season and the looming threat of greater enemies, would the Knights of Gondor prevail and return victorious? Or would the courage of men fail and the White City fall?
As the new age dawned and the sun rose upon the pale stone walls of Minas Tirith, a mighty number of tacticians heeded the call. The Knights of Gondor were bestowed with a gift, as it was perceived, in the form of new followers. Enemies of old turned to allies now, with bonds forged through ages of conflict. Confident and steady, the Knights of Gondor strode forth in pursuit of another victory for the White City.
But not all was as it seemed, for the gift of powerful and numerous allies betrayed the Knights of Gondor in a deception befitting of Anatar. The hearts of the free peoples of Middle-earth blackened, and anger slowly corroded them. Turning to evil alliances and dark thoughts, a pact was made between the Elves of Lindon, the Dwarves of Erebor, the evil men of Rhûn, and the Orcs of Mordor. Opposing the will of Gondor, this unnatural alliance sought only one thing: to destroy all traces of Gondor from Middle-earth. A race for Harondor ensued as all wanted control of the formidable Mumakils. The Knights of Gondor rushed for the crossings of Harondor, while Mordor and Rhûn closed in from the east. Victory was claimed by Mordor, who arrived first, but the hearts of men were not so easily deterred. Mounting the first offensive of the new age, the Knights of Gondor launched an attack from the crossings and crushed all opposition. Cleansing the filth wrought by Mordor's orcs, Gondor proceeded to eradicate all traces of evil from the region.
But victory was short-lived. The great coalition of elves, dwarves, evil men, and orcs were slowly advancing from all sides, as Gondor was repelled in the west by Lindon, and in the east by Erebor, Rhûn, and Mordor. Relentlessly battered with enemies knocking on Osgiliath's doorsteps, Gondor had never been in such a dire need of allies.
In one last effort to recuperate and launch a final counterattack to regain control of Osgiliath's eastern front, Gondor sent forth a messenger bearing the red arrow and lit the beacons of Gondor. Marching to their doom or salvation, the Knights of Gondor rode towards Osgiliath as their hope of victory now relied on an alliance with the Rohirrim.
Gondor called for aid, and Rohan answered. An alliance was struck between the two remaining factions of men, and Rohan rushed to Gondor's defense and helped push the eastern front, spearheaded by Rhûn, from Osgiliath.
Success at last, but at a significant loss. The death toll at the Battle of Osgiliath was innumerable, and the relations between Rohan and Gondor fell through, dissolving their alliance. All was thought to be lost, and the curtain of darkness swept across Gondor's eastern front once more as Rhûn pushed a new offensive from southern Khand. Unable to split forces on two eastern fronts, hope dimmed in the hearts of Gondor. But a beacon of hope appeared in the west. An olive branch of peace and an alliance was struck between the Elves of Lindon and the Knights of Gondor. With solid protection provided on the western front, the Knights of Gondor could focus their attention on the traitorous Horse Lords of Rohan in the eastern front. The swift hammer of justice fell heavily on Rohan as Edoras was sacked within a week. Opposition was soundly pushed from the doorsteps of Osgiliath, and the Knights of Gondor turned their eyes toward the true prize of the season. Pushing swiftly towards Aemon Length, they destroyed the defenses of Dol Guldur and claimed the One Ring for their own. Whether by their own volition or corruption from the One Ring, Gondor's eyes settled on the evil men of Rhûn, and their capital was burned to the ground. But as the heavy hand of revenge was dealt, so too was the hand of mercy given. With the realization that enemies could very well become allies, as had so starkly been demonstrated throughout the season, the Knights of Gondor took up their title of peacekeepers and returned all capitals to their respective factions, allowing all to receive maximum rewards. That's our report for today. If you liked this story about how Gondor broke the siege and achieved great victory, let us know in the comments. If there's something interesting in Middle-earth, feel free to send it to us and we'll report it. If you liked this news recap, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with your friends. This is Lord of the Onion Rings. See you in the next video.